like GOAT conversation. Which teammates did you pick? Who did you get enough pieces around yourself to win it all? And so, if I don't think it would be in the best interest of the Nets or in Kevin Durant to let that dude down, because what he's attempting to go for is special, and I'm just happy enough to be able to say that I'm from Brooklyn, or like how you're able to say you've rooted for this logo, for this laundry for so long, that we deserve to be a part of this magnificent ride if we get to the end. And whatever obstacle, I think we all should be in support of seeing Kevin Durant's vision through, because he's brilliant. He's freaking brilliant, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. I think the smartest point in the entire thing, which I know is basically your overall theme, was like the, really at the end of the day, as much as bringing back Kyrie was about trying to win, it really is basically just about KD. Which look, a lot of the things that I was nervous about, and me and you were nervous about with this whole thing going on, was like the wear and tear on him, and like we know that this is not a the NBA season is a slog. Like to me,
Yeah,
the season already feels like it's been going on forever. We're not even at the halfway point. We're actually, I think, exactly at like I saw somebody tweet, like I think we're at like 40% through the season. Like, and we got to go through like another 60% more of the season,
right.
plus
All
three
Star game.
the East All-Star game, plus three Eastern Conference playoff series, and then the finals. Like if they were to knock on wood to get there. So like they're
Yeah,
gonna.
and so imagine you had that game the other night that Kevin had. Imagine you had that game, and you go up to Joe Tsai's office, or you walk up to Clara Tsai and say, "I'm tired, Clara. I'm giving it all my all. I want us to get the the one seed, but I need help, Clara. This is crazy. What's going on?" Like, Joe and Clara, they're gonna be like, "I know where we stand on this Vax thing, but we can't. We gotta protect KD." Like, if you're Joe Tsai and KD comes to you, Sam, and says, "I'm tired. I need help." What do you say?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I mean that it was the only they had to do it. I mean, like, what are you gonna say? You can't keep penalizing the guys who are doing the right thing by getting vaccinated and
Right.
playing by by keeping out a guy who isn't like technically following the rules. It's not. I mean, unless they just and I think what I think actually became really really clear from this entire saga that happened. And I know that some people have had conflicting reports about, did like Rich Kleiman or KD and or Harden, his agent, go meet with Marks or Cy, or maybe it was just the players or just the agents, whatever it
Well,
was. Like
they
it,
debunked that. They said that all parties said that that's not true.
yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I have a hard time. I have a hard time believing that some uh some machination of that didn't occur. I'm sure there was some way that did happen. And
I
like,
don't think Kevin Durant has to. If he has something to say to Joe Tsai, I think if Cam Thomas has something to say to Joe Tsai, it may take him 30 to 60 days to have that conversation. But I think if Kevin Durant has something he wants to say to Joe Tsai or Sean Marks, that he all he needs to do is maybe like wink or give a little shoulder signal or whatever, and Joe Tsai will parachute out of the air and land in front of KD's feet and talk to him. I I I don't know why reporters or writers felt they needed to add that little piece to it where they say where they get to say things like, oh, the agents called an emergency meeting. No, it doesn't matter. Like, I believe that Kevin Durant, and it's strictly belief, it's not based on this person is more reliable than this person, or I believe this reporter over that person. I just personally believe Kevin Durant walked away from the last game and was like, "Yo, I'm tired,
yeah,
and um, I didn't come here to lose. Like,
so I guess, and
we're not going to change this dude's mind. And he said this before. He said, we're not going to change Kyrie's mind. We know that. So we just got to keep going forward.
I guess my overall point about what's going on is that it's clear that basically whatever free reign we thought that Sean Marks had is clearly not really there, because it basically seems like trading Kyrie was absolutely never an option. And I think that was actually something that I think, like, based off of the way that things were going, should have been more on the table, because I think that if he wasn't, if he really was going to be like, I am not going to ever get vaccinated, and this is also before we thought that the mandate was going to change, but if that was actually a possibility, it seemed like, look, like they might have to just move on from this experiment. But it's clear that I think KD, one way or another, is like, we're rotting or dying with the ship, and like this is happening with the big three.
Right, and I think at the same time we've found out a lot about Kyrie. I think the team has found out a lot about Kyrie. I think their love for Kyrie, especially when it comes to Kevin Durant, like, I don't know if Harden loves Kyrie. I know Harden wants to fucking win.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, and he was like, with Kyrie back, my job is a whole lot easier, and we're gonna win. And to see that video of this dude, where we could disagree philosophically on how he's gotten to this point. Is it poor form, maybe that he didn't eat well during the off season, or that he waited inside of the season? Like, one, none of us could prove any of that, and two, all we have is James Harden's history, and James Harden's history is that he wants to win, he wants to play, he doesn't miss games. He's like the opposite of Kyrie Irving in every single way, except for the fact that the circuitous routes that they take to being great is completely different. Their upbringing is completely different. But what they want to do and what they're able to do is deliver basketball in a level that only 5 other human beings on earth can do that. But the thing that separates them is, I don't think you could ever get James Harden to say basketball isn't the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
Basketball, he unabashedly says, basketball gave me everything I own, everything I have, and the effect that I'm able to to make on the world, that was given to me in basketball. And I started that journey at Artesia High School in Compton. For him to, like, I don't think people are so caught up in people's image or what they imagine someone is that they don't listen to what they say. And for that guy to understand that I started becoming good at this sport, and everything that I am, or the good that I'm able to do and improvements I'm able to do in the world, I'm able to do it because of this journey that I started at this high school playing this game. And it's just refreshing, man. Did you see the video of him working out after
I love
the game?
That. Yeah, I loved that. Well, I mean, I also particularly love that, and I'm taking, a couple of victory laps right now, because Harden has now said on 2 different outlets that he had to lose weight and wasn't in shape, was in proper basketball shape, which is something I got killed for on Twitter for most of the...
Can I say something? Like, yeah. I really hate that you guys get your panties in a bunch about our basketball takes. I don't want to be right. I want to be a champion. I want to be a part of a championship. Like, if I make a critique, or if Sam makes a critique, it's not like we were on James Harden is going to be fat forever. Like, nobody, I never believed that. Me and you kind of had our rare moments where we don't, like, one of the things people complain about the show is that we don't argue enough. No, we're not gonna stage our arguments. Like, we like doing the pod together because we could kind of unwind our ideas together and see what's wrong and right. But people are gonna be wrong and right. What you have to appeal to, and what you have to understand, is the energy behind all of this that we do. The fact that we would spend one of our lazy 12 days of Christmas to make this podcast for everyone. It just goes to show that we're not in it for the clout or to be the next Skip Bayless. We're in it because we love the team, and we love dissecting and analyzing it to the point of that we feel, intrinsically a part of this movement that is the Brooklyn Nets. Like, I don't get these attacks from people on Twitter to you, Sam. Like what you were advocating for was wrong. He needs to be in better shape. And I was less worried because I realized NBA players sometimes they just get into shape during the season. I've seen them do it. Yeah, LeBron does it so in some ways. So it is what it is.
What I think is weird about the fan base is that there's a little bit of like this: if you don't say something that's 1,000% positive, then it means that you're like that your fandom is not as strong, when it's like it's actually the opposite. Like, it was like, to me, it was clear. Look, as I said to you multiple times, I told you and Bam, like, I bet money on Harden winning MVP because I thought he was gonna legitimately come in firing, pissed about the hamstring thing happening last year, and whether he was out of shape because of the hamstring or like whatever it was just clear he wasn't himself. And then, as we saw, which I know we'll get back to, like, those 2 games in Los Angeles were a complete, like, I mean, what he did in LA, and I know, Lakers were missing a couple people. Obviously, the Clippers were missing a couple people, but, like, so were we, obviously. Like, yeah. He completely dissected those 2 teams. Like, it was at the point where I was watching those games and I was like, if we had Harden and 4 people from Nets Twitter, like, I think it would have been relatively competitive because he was just getting wherever he wanted.
Listen, Harden agreed with you. That's what everyone should be taking from what, him emerging. Like me, I've always had the slant of he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna thaw out, right. and he's gonna be fine, like, right? But I didn't hear what you said, but I let me finish this real quick. That doesn't change that you were right. He said, I had to lose some weight. I had to work out a little bit during this break. Now, was it a huge amount? It was only like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But at the same time, he said with his own mouth, I had to get in better shape, which is what you advocated for, Sam, which is fine. I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm happy that, look, if he keeps this up, the best thing about this is that if he plays at this level, then I feel more confident, even if this Kyrie thing becomes he's there 50% of the time or whatever. Then I think they actually could still win because, I mean, the way Harden looked in those past 2 games, that was Houston Harden basically. That was like, I am going to win this game, whether it's 4 G Leaguers or 2 NBA players and 1 G Leaguer, whatever it is. Like,
can I say something that may not be popular and people are going to get in an uproar over? I really think if this is the version of James Harden we're going to get, I think it would have been more important that we got Joe Harris back than it is getting Kyrie back. And I preface that to say, if we get Kyrie back, like let's say we get Kyrie back versus getting Joe Harris back, and we somehow catastrophe happens, we don't get Joe Harris back. I think it's more important to be able to space the floor, just having him there as a decoy, because I don't even Patty Mills is not as good of a just open shot, just hit a jumper, and I think people are more scared of, and that's what more pacing is more about is your reputation from three.